Hey everybody, welcome to week 2 of the Fantasy Forum. I'm Jeremy here, and we are going to have a little bit of a discussion about last week's performances and matchups. Didn't look too good for me. I think I was probably the lowest scorer out of everybody after my great start. Sunday just didn't look good for me. My two best players let me down. The players I always stand by and trust. Of course, that's AP and Brandon Marshall. They combined for 9 points. AP got 3 points. I can't remember the last time AP got something that low. Even in a game where he got injured, I pretty sure he was doing better than 3 points. So hopefully this isn't a telltale sign of things to come. I'm looking for him to bounce back. His matchup is against the Packers next week. It's a divisional matchup. He should be coming to play. I see, hopefully, at least 70 yards. I hope. And Brandon Marshall, he was targeted a lot. They must have just held him down well. I didn't really get to see much of highlights. But yeah. Anyways, I'll just get right into it this week. I'm gonna try to make this a lot shorter. I remember it was almost 2 hours last time, and wow, did I say the word solid at least 2,000 times? And I can't be joking about that. Well, I should go back and what I wanted to do, which of course I really need to learn this video editing stuff, is I wanted to make a montage of every time I said the word solid and put it all together in little clips, one after the other. So I thought that would have been pretty funny because I was watching it back and oh my god. So if I start repeating words a lot, you guys can call me out on it. Yeah. So, anyways, I will just get right into it here. Okay. So, we have a new picture in our league. Picture of, I believe, Julio Jones. I think that's Julio Jones. I can't remember Julio Jones with dreads, though. No, that's Larry Fitz. Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be Larry Fitz. Okay. Looking all pumped up. Yeah, Larry Fitz had a great game. Oh, that's so unfortunate about Keenan Allen. I feel you. I really do. I was just perusing through ESPN yesterday, and I saw something about him getting hurt. And I'm like, God, he always seems to get hurt, but I didn't realize it was such a big injury. So, at least you stocked up on wide receivers there, Mr. Batch, and hopefully that'll be that won't be the end of your season. But yeah, I feel you because I have Phillip Rivers, and of course I was banking on that team being very healthy this year, and yeah, that's his best target by far. You could debate Antonio Gates, but yeah, we'll have to see what happens here with that. I still think Phillip Rivers should do okay, but I might have to look into getting somebody out of free agency because there's a few players that could turn out to be better than Phillip Rivers this year. Anyways, so yeah, I'm sorry that happened, but we all know that's fantasy for you. I also heard Russell Wilson got hurt, but he shouldn't miss any kind of significant time. If anything, maybe a game, but I think they said he's projected to play this week. So, barring a setback, you should be fine. He's actually the only player on Francis' team that didn't play amazing. Everybody's team seemed to do pretty well. Mine didn't, and I think Scott's kind of had a bad week. But besides that, everybody seemed to enjoy pretty decent numbers. I'm going to go to my team, and I'm going to see what's going on. Ooh, I have a pending trade. I did not see that. I'm not going to show you guys the trade, because another player in the league might want to keep that on the lowdown or something. I'll look at that later, and I'll see what I want to do with it. So yeah, like I said, AP and Brandon Marshall, just very lackluster performances this past week. Same with Martellus Bennett. He had that starting opportunity and he let it go to waste. And the crazy thing was, he was on the field like every down except for 2, I think it said. And yeah, he just choked basically, or they didn't want to throw him the ball. I don't know if that would change once Tom Brady comes back. But yeah, I might have to look into getting a different tight end too, because that might not work out like I hoped it would. Randall Cobb, decent game. Pretty much what you would expect from a wide receiver too. He got 12 points. C.J. Anderson, of course, on a Thursday night game, he looked phenomenal, and that's what I was really banking on with him. So, if my team can put it all together, I think it's really good. But last week they just they didn't show up. My next best player was pretty much my kicker, Blair Walsh, who, God, they kicked the ball an awful lot. He had 6 field goal attempts. If he would have made all 6 of those, I'd have been over 100 points. But anyways, I might start Rashard Jennings over Randall Cobb this week, because that Minnesota defense is really, really good. He's still projected at 14 points, but I like Golden Tate still this week, and I like Rashard Jennings against that New Orleans defense. They're ranked 31st. So that might be my only change this week. We'll see. Alright, I'll go look at the matchups. I know hopefully this isn't too boring. Okay, so we'll look at the quick box score of mine and Rico's game. Well, Rico pretty much destroyed me. He outscored me in every category except for kicker. Eli had a solid game. I always say solid. There it is. I always say if a quarterback gets 20 points or more, that's what you need. Just that consistency all throughout the year. So that's good for him. Charles Sims outscored Adrian Peterson. That's just sad. Charles Sims got a touchdown. Spencer Ware. That was my luck. Spencer Ware got the play over Jamal Charles. And of course, I had to face the guy who had him in week 1, and I knew that was going to be a huge factor, because Kansas City loves to pass to their running backs, and God, he did not disappoint. DeAndre Hopkins and Alshon Jeffrey, they just did a nice job for him. DeAndre Hopkins, I thought, was going to be better than that, but Spencer Ware made up for it. Greg Olsen did nicely for him. Jarvis, his team just had a really good week. And like I just had guys that underperformed, and that's all there is to this matchup. In the bench, he had Theo Riddick at 27 points for him too. So it's funny. I said he had really weak running backs, yet he had those PPR guys, and they shine for him for sure. So yeah, Rico should look very good going ahead. The Spencer Ware thing should wear down. Charles Sims, I don't know if he's going to get 12 points every week. Theo Riddick, 27 is a lot to ask for. But yeah, Dion Lewis, who knows if he's going to have a starting job coming back, if he even comes back. Anyways, we'll go to, I'll try to just do this in the order they are. Alright, then we had the Swamp Donkeys against Mr. Mac's team, the Senior Citizen Beatdown, the SCB. This was a blowout, basically. I had a feeling it would be. He had very underwhelming performances besides Drew Brees. Drew Brees came to play. God, he doesn't seem to disappear, huh? He just keeps going. And Doug Baldwin had a really solid game for him. He looked like he's just gonna keep going, and I kind of regret not drafting him. But anyways, Devonta Freeman and Jonathan Stewart, those running back. God, it just. I really hope Freeman can bounce back from how bad he's been doing, but Tevin Coleman might take that starting job, and it might just be inevitable. Jonathan Stewart, like I said, I have always hated him, and lo and behold, Cam Newton got that rushing touchdown over him. So, and Des Bryant got 1 point. 1 point, yeah. That he should do better, but I have a feeling he's not going to be as good as years past, unfortunately for you. Other than that, the team didn't perform very well. Francis's team, on the other hand, they shined. Lamar Miller, one of the only running backs to get over 100 yards. That was expected. Matt Forte, he looked like he is going to get a lot of volume in this. They were saying it might be a committee, but he took most of, if all, the carries, so that looks good for him. Like I said, the only person who didn't play well on his team is Russell Wilson. The Vikings D got him 21, and Steven Gostkowski got him 15. So when you have your kicker and your defense scoring 36 points combined, you're not going to lose. That's just insane. And Stephon Diggs, he worked out for him. I hope that continues. God, I love his wide receiver core. I love his team. If I had this team, this would be. He just drafted all the players I like, basically. Well, anyways, very, very good job this week, Francis. I don't think you were the highest scorer. Actually, let me go to the scoreboard really quick and see who was the highest scorer. Oh, Johnny was. That's right. Okay. Ooh, I didn't realize Rob came back to beat Josh. Or wait, no, Josh almost came back to beat Rob by 1. That's right, because he had Carlos Hyde playing last night. Wow. Okay, well, I was the only team that didn't score 100 points. That sucks. Anyways. So yeah, Francis, nice job. Almost got that $10, but Johnny pulled it out with 161, and of course Mr. Batch was the third highest scorer with 140, but it's all about matchups in fantasy. You score 140 and Scott scores 100, and Scott did come back to win that game. Like I said, fantasy gods are always... So I got that one right, that one right, that one right. I think I picked Mr. Yeah, I picked him because of his wide receivers. And this one, it was a toss-up, and I think I did pick Rob. So I got half of them. I got half of them right. I'll take 3 for 6. That's not bad. Of course, I got mine wrong. That was a blowout. Okay, so we'll look at Blaine and TJ's matchup. Really, on TJ's team, there was no big surprises. Giovanni Bernard, they just don't give him the ball. Odell Beckham, that was a little bit of a surprise. He only got 4 receptions. He should do better next week. Other than that, everybody basically kind of did their thing. And Tevin Coleman on the bench might be a huge piece for you instead of Giovanni Bernard. And for Blaine's team, that pickup of Matthew Stafford was huge for him. I really wish I would have. I was really thinking about doing it, but I didn't, and that's what happens. What's funny is I heard Melvin Gordon did really well this week, but then I looked and I saw Danny Woodhead had 16 carries, and he did really, really well as usual. So I was really surprised to see that. Julio Jones underperformed a little bit. You pick this guy second or third, can't remember which one, and he only gets you 16 points. You're looking for a little more than that. But yeah, TJ Yeldon looked pretty good out there, and that might be a good guy to go forward with as a flex guy. But no surprises here this week. Just what I expected from that matchup. Now we have the Charizard versus, I cam early, but I said came because we all know that's what he meant. Yeah, Todd Gurley, who'd have thunk it? Brandon, you have just as much bad luck in fantasy as I do, and I feel you, man. I really do. Who would have thought? But yeah, besides that, Emmanuel Sanders, he might be a little better than that in the coming weeks. Eddie Lacy just did not perform well. I cannot believe he outscored. Dan Bailey scored 19 points. Wow. That is a very nice thing from your kicker to have. Very nice score. Your kicker was almost your best player. That sucks. Deshaun Jackson did do well this week. It was nice to see that. I wasn't expecting him to do that well. Yeah, the Cam Newton. We'll look at the. He got Jeremy Hill and Cam Newton, and it actually made the difference because Cam Newton scored 2 more than Derek Carr, and Jeremy Hill scored 1 more. Actually, no, it wouldn't have made the difference. Scott would have still won by 1. So yeah, this just seemed like a matchup where Scott was gonna win just because of all the hype, or not the hype, the fantasy gods always come in to help him. He's not a good fantasy owner. No, I'm just kidding, Scott. You're one of the best, actually. Larry Fitz on his bench scoring 28 points. I'm sure he would have hated that. And Will Fuller scoring 21. So, Demaryius Thomas, with him out, it looks like you have a solid backup. Marvin Jones, I thought he did a lot better than that. I just saw highlights of him getting all these big catches, and I thought for sure he did better than that, but I guess not. And Who would have thought Vance McDonald would have outscored Todd Gurley last night? Wow, that's sad. Sad, but that's what happens. You can never count a team out. Arian Foster looked okay in his first game. Nothing special, but he should be a decent flex guy for you. Yeah. I'll look at the highest scoring matchup here. Aaron Rodgers. Ben Roethlisberger outscored Aaron Rodgers, of course. Ryan Matthews played well against. Of course, it was against the Browns, so we'll have to see. That could be a little skewed. Abudallah, he could be coming around to finally being the running back they needed. All these running backs did their damage in the passing game though. That's what it seems like the league is going to that nowadays. So if you have a good passing or a pass catching back, you're golden. Johnny had 3 single scorers on his team, yet he still scored 161. That's impressive. That means you still have upside. Of course, Keenan Allen went out. He scored 12 before he went out, so that's good, but it was still in a loss, so I'm sure you would rather have Keenan Allen. Antonio Brown, he's fantasy gold. He seems like he's just never going to slow down. He is the #1 pick for a reason. Jordy Nelson came back and had a solid first game, so that's promising for you. Kobe Fleener, I guess you went for the whole Drew Brees tight end, always throwing to his tight ends, and it did not work out this week, but I would not give up on that quite yet. But not really any. I think Abudallah, I was not expecting that from him at all, but and Keenan Allen getting hurt, those are the 2 big takeaways from his matchup. Johnny, David Johnson is living up to the hype, which is, that's good because he was your first pick, so you want to see that. Mark Ingram didn't perform well, especially against Oakland. Hopefully that's not a big concern, but Brandon Cook sure had a hell of a game. It looks like he only had 6 catches. That's good though, but well, hopefully, I don't know if he can stay up to that. Sammy Watkins, I don't know what happened to him. Foot was a non-participant. It looks like he might not. No, we'll see if he plays or not. But at least you have Montecrief playing well, and you can just plug him in for Sammy Watkins. Julius Thomas had a good game, and D'Angelo Williams, God, he really rejuvenated his career when he went to Pittsburgh. It's awesome to see. My nephew actually got his autograph on his hat when we went to the Steelers camp, so I'm sure he's happy to see that D'Angelo Williams had a great game. 143 yards, man. And he had 6 receptions. It's sad that he had Le'Veon Bell. They should trade Le'Veon Bell. D'Angelo, he is getting old though, D'Angelo Williams, so that's probably why they want to keep him. Yeah. So D'Angelo Williams and Brandon Cooks were the big players on his team, which should look good going forward. And so congratulations, Johnny, to being the #1 scoring team. I'm coming for you next week, though. Haha. Andrew Luck, God, did he look good coming back. Wow, did he look good. Good for him. I'm glad he's back. Ezekiel Elliott in his first game, very lackluster. ho-hum fashion. That I like how they said that, ho-hum fashion. That's exactly what it was. He did get a touchdown though, so that saved him. Yeah, Melvin Gordon didn't even outperform. He had 2 touchdowns, but he had 14 attempts. Danny Wood had more attempts than him. So why were they saying he had a bust out game? I don't know. Team just overall, besides Gary Barnidge, that's a big red flag if he got 0 points. But oh yeah, I didn't even talk about RG3. My God, Cleveland. What happened? Is it like LeBron lifts the curse, and the Indians are doing really well, but the Browns just are fucking, I don't know. They're a disgrace to the league. They really are. They did crap against Philly. Congratulations, Francis, to your Phillies. That I always love watching that Philly Browns matchup every 4 years. There's something cool about it. But anyways, yeah, I was really disappointed. I didn't really get to watch. I was at work, so I didn't get to watch the game. But I was looking at the highlights on my computer. Well, we have our conveyor belt, and we have to do like a scrap sheet, basically. So everything you throw away, you have to put in a computer, and at the end of the shift, you print it out, and you have like calculates the total scrap and how much you were supposed to produce and all that. Well, the computers have internet, and hopefully nobody sees this at work. Half the time they don't even care. Everybody gets away with all kinds of shit. But yeah, I was watching like Gamecast on the computer, so I was watching like the game unfold, and there was a point where I just turned it off because I was disgusted. I really was. And RG3 being out for half the year, and who knows, he could be out for the whole year. And we have Josh McCown as our backup. So it's going to be another long year for Cleveland. And with Josh Gordon, I was hoping with Josh Gordon there'd be a nice little tandem there, but he might be the one highlight of our season again. We'll have to see. But the whole Gary Barnidge not getting any catches whatsoever, that's bad. Kelvin Benjamin too. That was a nice bounce back game for him. Like him and Jordan Nelson, they both did very well on their bounce back game. So it's good to see that. Other than that, nothing big. He did get that 1 point win, which is always, God, when you see his quarterback, the quarterback got outscored by 21. Tyrod Taylor, which is funny because I think that was Rob's quarterback last year. That's sad to see. Carlos Hyde almost brought him to the promised land, almost got him the win. Looked very, very good for San Francisco. He had to come out with that 1 point, and that might have been the difference. That probably was the difference. AJ Green had a huge game. He's always going to get you solid fantasy numbers. John Brown was very underwhelming. That's hard to see. Besides that, everything else was pretty normal. So, and you had Willie Snead on the bench getting 32 points. God. So you have another wide receiver that you can start in that offense of yours and should play very well for you. All right, so those are the matchups. Biggest takeaway I can take from this week is, what would I think is the biggest takeaway? Again, the Keenan Allen thing is awful. I've said it 100 times, and I'm sure Mr. Batch is gonna hate me for it, but it's off. It just sucks. I was really banking on him doing well for my benefit as well. Trying to get, where are we at time wise? Okay, we're at 30. Wow, I'm really good at telling when it's at 30. All right, so we're just gonna look at the matchups for next week, and I'll give power rankings. By the way, Francis, I think, is the #1 team now. Mr. Batch, I still think I'm gonna bounce back next week, but besides my tight end, that's a big concern for me. So I think Francis's team, Francis, Blaine, and Johnny are all up there. Mr. Batch, you're with that injury, you're right there with them. Hopefully you can overcome that. And then it's kind of a crapshoot in the middle ones, and then Mr. Mac and Brandon are kind of like the lower end of the totem pole, and I guess I am right now too. So I can't win. I don't know what to say. And Rico's team. Rico's team is way better than and then those running backs are, if they are going to produce the way they are, he has a very dangerous team too. So you're right up there with Johnny and Blaine, but I think Francis has overall the best team right now. So the next week's matchups, we'll just take a look really quick. I'm playing Blaine. I don't see myself winning this game. They have him winning by 6. So there's still hope. Julio Jones, he isn't worried about his injury, so he should be fine for next week. So, yeah, I think the matchups for him are pretty good. He's gonna have a good week next week, and he'll probably beat me. I'm gonna probably go with Blaine. I'm gonna start. I hope I don't start out 0-2, but my running backs look really good. I just need my wide receivers to show up in this game. Yeah. So I will definitely give Blaine the edge here. I'm going to say he probably beats me by like 15. Then we have TJ and John. Let's look at this. Saying John's or TJ's team is favored by 10 points. Wow, we must have some really good matchups this week. Plus TJ has a pretty good squad, but I think Francis has just a little more. Wow, they're only projecting Jordan Matthews to get 12 points. Alright, let him. Yeah, Green Bay might not. I'm sure the Vikings aren't going to score 21 points again. Gostkowski with 15. That's probably the difference they're thinking. But I like Francis's chances better than TJ, so I'll give Francis the edge. We'll say by 10. beatdown. So we have Mr. Batch against Rico. Rico looks heavily favored by 11 points. I'm going to have to agree with the stats here and say that he's going to win this matchup by a considerable amount, probably at least 20 points. Then we have Mr. Batch against Brandon. Oh. Yeah, hopefully Todd Gurley has a bounce back. Oh, my other surprise was AP. Who would have thought AP would have got 3 points? Nobody. So, that was the other big takeaway from this week. And I really hope he bounces back. But yeah, I'm going to have to give this one to Mr. Batch. He has he just has the better team overall, it looks like. So yep, we'll go with Mr. Batch there. And then we have Scott against Rob. This should be a good matchup. Wow, they have Scott's team heavily favored. Wow. They're projecting Andrew Luck to get 16 after he scored 37. Because of Denver. I think he'll do better than that. Jeez. What do you think about Barnage? Oh, that probably helps Barnage a lot with McCown coming back. So that looks better for him too. Gronk, is he going to play? That's the big question. We'll be watching practice reports and news. We'll be closely to see if Gronk will play this week. Scored a touchdown and produced a season-high 113 yards against the Dolphins. So yeah, he's pretty much a top play if he's active. So that will be a key difference in this matchup. They only have Rob projected to score 101 points. I don't think he'll be nearly that bad. But I will say that I will give Scott the advantage here by a small amount. I think this will be like a Scott by 3. And last but not least, Johnny against Josh. I think Josh has a really solid team. But Johnny's team is a bit overpowering right now. With D'Angelo Williams looking... Him and Ben Roethlisberger are going to combine. If they're going to combine to get 50 points for him, then that might be the big player for his team. So yeah, some of his team didn't perform very well though, but they should bounce back, and I see Johnny winning this by a good amount. It says only 5, but I think it'll be at least by 15. So yeah, those are my projections for next week. And I'm gonna try to end this now. I think I'm gonna end this here. I know it wasn't as long. That's probably a good thing. We're coming up on 40 minutes here. So I'm going to bring back my face and I hope you guys are enjoying these. It's funny because this past week I was like really looking forward to doing this again. I was like, oh man, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that, and I'm like, I gotta spread it out throughout the season, or I'm gonna get very bogged down by it, and I'm not gonna have ideas besides doing the same thing every week. So like I said, I want to try to do collabs. Maybe I can call you guys on the phone, or we could maybe Skype. I know I have Skype. I don't know if you guys have it. I'm pretty sure everybody has Skype by now, but I think that'd be really cool to do. I think I could screen capture, like talking to somebody on Skype, and I could do like an interview, or we could just have a discussion overall. Or we could do kind of like a first take thing and have like a debate going back and forth. By the way, I miss Skip Bayless. I actually liked Skip Bayless. I mean, I like Stephen A. I used to hate Stephen A. actually, but now the more I watch him, the more I understand, and I'm starting to like him now. But he is a little bit of a crybaby sometimes, and Skip Bayless was the same way. But I miss the chemistry. I miss that banter they had back and forth. This new guy, he's okay. Maybe I'll learn to like him. I don't even know his name, to be honest. I haven't really even paid attention to what his name is. But Max? No, that can't be it. For some reason, Max keeps popping in my head. But yeah, I'd like to do something like that with one of the people, with somebody in the future. So, and thank you, Johnny, for the comment. I should write back and say something, but I'll give a shout out to Johnny. He commented on my video, and I really appreciated that. I like I said, I really hope you guys are enjoying these, and it's gonna be a long season. So if you have any ideas for me, so far I kind of don't have any big plans for the video besides maybe making a beginning sequence or something. But other than that, I kind of just like the unedited scripted kind of thing, or unedited non-scripted kind of thing, I should say. Sometimes maybe I'll start recording as I look at fantasy every day, and I'll upload videos once or twice a day. I don't know how I want to do that either, because I've thought about it. I was like, why? I mean, what's stopping me from doing a video now? I mean, I could, and I have this whole weekend off coming up, so I could even maybe do like a live, kind of like I'm watching my fantasy team or everybody else's fantasy teams progress during the week or during the game day, and have like a live commentary there. So yeah, I just want to get a bunch of ideas to see how I can make this grow, and I know I got a couple ideas from a few of you guys, and I hope to incorporate some of those in the future. But it all comes down to how much time I want to put into this, and right now today I had just a lot of housework I needed to do, and I was just kind of late. I had a full week. I worked 36 hours in 3 days for over the weekend. So on Mondays I'm shot. I'm not shot, but I don't feel like doing much, and I've been trying to get my weight down. Believe it or not, I was up to 198 pounds this past week, and I'm so close to 200, and I've never thought in my lifetime I would be 200 pounds. So I've been hitting the gym a lot the past few weeks, and I've gotten it down to like 193. I've been consistently at. So hopefully I can get all the way. I want to get all the way down to like 180, 185 again, because I think that's a reasonable weight. Anyways, I'm rambling. we're at 45 minutes. It's probably a perfect time to end it. So thank you guys again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope again that we can do collabs and have big discussions over just the maybe even sports in general. Like, maybe we don't even have to make it a fantasy thing. As you guys can see, I'm wearing all my Indians gear. I've been loving how the Indians are playing lately. They seem like this could be a good year. But then again, they've lost some of their pitching, and I don't know what's going to happen with that. But go Tribe. And yeah, I'll end it here. So you guys, good luck to all your fantasy teams for the next week. I hope we all can do well and we can all play nice. And alright, you guys take care. Bye for now.